there, I'm Wendy and welcome to my channel where I share knitting and crochet tutorial videos for my projects and techniques. And today's video is a knitting video and I'll be showing you how to make stocking stitch. Now, stocking stitch is one of the most commonly used stitches when it comes to knitting, so once you've learned to make the knit stitch and the purl stitch, it's definitely the next stitch to go on and learn. So I'm going to show you how to work stocking stitch on 2 knitting needles, and then I'll also go over how you work stocking stitch if you're knitting on a circular knitting needle or on double pointed needles in the round. But just before we start, if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. And if you've enjoyed this video, it would be lovely if you gave me a thumbs up as well. But for now, we'll get straight on and start working some stocking stitch. When you take a look at stocking stitch, you'll see that it's got 2 different sides. Now, the front of my work here is the knit side, and you can see each of these stitches is represented by one of these V's. And then if we turn it over and you take a look at the reverse side of the stocking stitch, you can see here that this is a series of ridges or bumps, and each one of these bumps is a stitch. So when you're working your stocking stitch on 2 needles, you're going to be working 1 row of knit, turn your work, and then work 1 row of purl. So I'm going to work 2 rows stocking stitch for you so that you can see, and I'm going to work 3 stitches of the knit stitch slowly for you, just as a refresher. But if you need any more help, I'll put a link in above here now and in the description notes below to my video showing you how to make the knit stitch in more depth. So to make my knit stitch, I've got my stitches on my left hand needle here, and I've got my right hand needle empty. And I'm going to take the right hand needle between the first and the second stitch and pop my needle in from left to right and underneath that left hand needle. And then I can take my yarn in the right hand up and over and back down, and then slide that left hand needle over the top and release the stitch. So I'll do that again. The right hand needle is going to come between the first and the second stitch on the left hand needle. I'm going to take the tip of the right hand needle through the center of the stitch and out from left to right and form a cross. Then I'm going to take my yarn from the right hand side underneath that lower needle, up and over. And then I can draw that left hand needle over the tip of the right hand needle and release the stitch. And I'll do that once more. I'm going to take the tip of the right hand needle between the first and the second stitch on my left hand needle, take it from left to right, underneath and through the stitch on my left hand needle, creating a cross. Then I'm going to take my yarn underneath, up and over that lower needle, and then I can slide the left hand needle over the tip of the right hand needle and release the stitch. So now I've done that, I'm going to knit to the end of the row where I'll meet you again, and then we can turn our work and work a purl row. Okay, so now I'm at the end of my row and I've transferred all the stitches from the left hand needle onto my right hand needle. So I'm going to swap hands so that now all my stitches are on the left hand needle again. So I'm now looking at the reverse side of my work. So now I need to work a purl row because I've got all the purl stitches looking at me. So just like before, I'll work the purl stitch 3 times for you, and I'll pop a link in above here now and in my description notes below to take you to my video for how to make the purl stitch in more depth if you need to take a look at that as well. So to make my purl stitch, I want to make sure that I have the yarn coming towards me and it's behind the right hand needle. That right hand needle is sitting behind the yarn. So I'm going to take the right hand needle through that first stitch on the left hand needle from right to left, and the needle has come out towards me. I've formed a cross and I can hold it in my left hand, and then I can take my yarn up and over that right hand needle, hold it back, and then I can roll that left hand needle over the tip of the right hand needle, and then I can release the stitch. So to do that again, my right hand needle is going through that first stitch on the left hand needle from right to left, and I'm forming a cross. Then I can take the yarn in my right hand up and over and back down, and then I'm going to draw that left hand needle over the tip of the right hand needle, and then I can release the stitch. So I'll do that one more time. The right hand needle is going from right to left through the first stitch to form a cross. I can then take the yarn in my right hand up and over, and then draw that left hand needle over the tip of the right hand needle towards me, and then release the stitch. So if you need to see that in more detail, I'll pop a link in above here now and in the description notes below that will take you to my video showing you how to make the purl stitch in more depth. But for now, I'll carry on purl stitching till I get to the end of this row. And now I've finished my purl row, I'm ready to turn my work and continue just repeating these 2 rows. And remember that the knit rows will give you the smooth side to the front of your work, and the purl side will give you the ridges on the reverse side. So that's how you make stocking stitch on 2 needles. Just remember, if you're using circular needles and you're going continually round in one direction, you just need to make the knit stitch to create stocking stitch. And if you're using a straight pair of knitting needles and knitting back and forth, zigzagging in rows, then you'll need to knit 1 row of the knit stitch to create the smooth side, and then you'll need to work 1 row of the purl stitch to create the reverse side with the ridges or the bumps. So I'll just say for now, thanks for joining me. I hope you found this video useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!